Hi guys, I am Sunshine Love. I am the CEO of One Love Be Beautiful, and I'm also the CEO of the EC firm. Now, One Love Be Beautiful is a candle business. I also do handmade soaps, as you can see. I also make other items, make these dishes. I make everything, okay? My motto is that your options are never limited. So, today's video is going to be discussing being an entrepreneur and knowing if it's for you, okay? The first things first, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so by hitting the subscribe button so you can get the latest videos when I drop them. And I'm going to be definitely more consistent at dropping videos because life just gets away with us. So I really haven't had time to make videos, but I'm going to be pushing out more content. I'm going to be showing you how to make candles, my dessert candles, all that good stuff, okay? So we've already gotten that out of the way. Now, if you don't have it already, get your drink, get your coffee, get your tea, get your wine, whatever it is, so we can sit back and we can chat. Also, get your notebook and your pen because we're going to be taking notes. And I've jotted some things down, so I'm going to be reading from my notepad because I want to make sure that I give you the precise and correct information when it comes to owning a business. I have been in business for some years now. I started the EC firm back in 2009, and that's my tax business. And I do that primarily January through April of the year. But I also needed something additional to supplement my income. I've always been a creative person. I've always done things, whether it be artwork, so you can see some of my artwork there. And then I just kind of added on, you know, started doing candles. And my candles are primarily unique. All of my products are, even with my artwork, there's never going to be one person that has the same thing. So I found my niche and I kind of went from there. Now, again, I still do my tax business and my tax consulting business. But with my tax business, I also do business development, consultations when you're trying to start a business, and resumes and all that good stuff. I'm a jack of all trades. But let's get to the nitty gritty, okay? Let's get to the reason why we're here, which is to discuss being an entrepreneur. Listen, it is definitely hard work. And I'm going to list out some things here from 1 through 10. I think I have about 10 items here that we're going to discuss. What you should know, what you should do, and the perception that we go into prior to starting a business, right? Because we get these ideas, we have these dreams, we're trying to bring it to fruition, and then when it happens and things don't go the way that we want them to go, you know, then it's kind of like, okay, wait a minute. We start questioning ourselves and trying to determine if this is really for us. So first things first, knowing your market and doing your research is essential. It's critical. Now, keep in mind, they say the market is oversaturated with certain things. Let's take, for example, I do candles and soap. There's so many people that do it, but there's not another you. I believe that we're all blessed with unique talents and gifts, and you have to determine what is your niche, what is your passion, what you want to do, and how are you going to bring your ideas to life. How are you going to incorporate your purpose into that? Because there is a demographics, there's a target audience that is just for you, and you have to figure out what that is, and you can't get discouraged when doing that. So first things first, do your research, and by doing your research, it'll help you to know the areas within the industry that you want to go into. It'll help you decide, okay, do I want to go this way or that way? Even with candles, there's so many candle makers, but there's so many different type of candles. You have soy candles, you have coconut soy candles, you have people who primarily focus on basic candles, you have your positive energy candles, you have your dessert candles. So there's a whole array of candles. You so and handmade soaps also. The key is finding out again who your target audience is, who you're going to want to sell to, who's going to want to buy from you, and then kind of go from there. So we discussed the number one. The second thing is be prepared mentally, emotionally, and physically. Okay, because it's a lot of work when owning a business or trying to establish a business for that matter. So be prepared and prepare yourself in that manner, because there are going to be times when you get stressed out. There are going to be times when you question yourself, okay, is this for me? There are going to be times where, you think, okay, is this something I want to do? Should I go a different route? Stand your ground. Know what's for you is for you. And I'm sorry about the noise because that is my cat in the background. Okay. Third thing, very important. Do not go into business thinking that your friends and your family will be your biggest supporters. Now, if you already have a business and you already have a circle of people and they're supporting you, that's awesome. That's great. That's phenomenal. But be realistic and set realistic and obtainable goals. And do not go into the perception that just because you have a circle of people and they love you and they care for you, that when you go into a business that they're going to support you, because that's not the case. And I found that out myself. I went into my business thinking, okay, hey, I already have these set people. I know these people are going to buy from me. I know these people are going to shop for me. I know these people are going to support me. And there were days where I didn't make a sale. There were days where I didn't get a phone call. So I was definitely questioning myself to determine, okay, is this something that I want to do? But I had to tell myself and I had to program myself that there's another market of people. There are complete strangers that will support you more than family members and friends. So I'm here to give you the honesty and the reality of it, okay? We love our family members and we love our friends. We love our circle. But the reality of it is that they're not obligated, honestly, to shop with us. They're not obligated to support us. We would love it they would do so, but we know that they may or they may not. And that's okay. We have to move forward and determine what's our demographics, what's going to be our target audience. We're going to push out our products and our service and our business or whatever it is that you do to the people that is set for you. And I believe that whatever you manifest into your life, into your business, that's what's going to happen. And you're going to get an overflow of people into your business. But you got to do the work. Okay. So let's go to the fourth thing. The fourth thing is do a business plan. Business plans are very important. They're essential to your business. They give you the whole outline of things that you don't think about. Because let's just be honest, right? When we're going into a business, we're thinking of this idea that popped into our head, right? And said, okay, hey, I want to go into owning a boutique. I want to go into selling hair. I want to go into life coaching, whatever it is. And we have this idea and we know, okay, I can do this because we've related it to something personal in our life. Like, I feel passionate about this. I feel comfortable doing this. I feel, I'm super excited, right? So you go into that idea and now it's time to put the plan in motion. But that also entails now taking the research that you've done and the idea that you have and putting it on paper. There's so many variables and factors that we don't think about. And a business plan will line that out, such as the administrative piece of your business, the accounting piece of your business, establishing a budget. A business plan is going to outline your business up to 3 to 5 years, and it's going to give you a projected view of what's to come. Now, we would like to start our business and hit the ground running, and we're going to be successful, but we have to go into it knowingly, being honest with ourselves, and a business plan is going to do that. A lot of times the business plan tells you that you may not be able to hire employees for the first 1 to 2, maybe 3 years. of your business, because a lot of it is going to come from starting your business, building up your inventory, establishing your advertising and your marketing, and setting up your whole structure of your business, which is going to take funds that you're going to have to need and preserve in-house, right? Having a payroll is going to push out money out that you may not be able to have, you know. Also, through the first 1 or 2 years, you might not be able to make a profit. It's a blessing if you do. But again, a business plan is going to give you the reality piece of it. Also, it's going to establish your profit and loss. Is going to set the budget. It's also going to help with you if you want to seek out funding for your business, if you want to seek out grants. A lot of companies will not even have a conversation with you if you haven't set and done a business plan. So do that. There's so many different softwares, there's so many different templates online. A lot of them are pre-filled where all you have to do is put in your information. It's also going to allow you to establish who your competition is. That's so critical and that's so important, because if you notice, if you see, let's say for example, AutoZone, you always see an AutoZone or Advanced Auto near each other. You always see a McDonald's or Burger King or fast food place near each other. Statistics show that when you have competition, when you're around your competition, you generate more sales. And that's because people are people of shopping, of reviews. There are also people that shop based on a budget and based on, okay, we have two people that are offering the same thing, but I'm gonna shop with you, okay, because this is a better product. You're also offering a deal. So there's so many factors and variables that go into that, but that's one of the reasons why you always see businesses that are near each other. Okay, so that's that. Also, payroll and HR needs. Eventually, you're going to want to set up your payroll and your HR needs. You're also going to establish training and how that goes. You're going to have to go into your business with a mindset of not only being an entrepreneur, but you're now a CEO. So you have to think with a CEO mentality. The fifth thing is determine your location. Are you going to have a brick and mortar, or are you going to save money and establish a home office? With my business, I found a home that has a home office space, a space that is strictly dedicated as a home office. So I made my office into part of it being where I do my paperwork and my administrative side, and I have another part where I have my products on display, and then I also have a section where I actually do making my candles and my soaps and all of that. So if you can afford it and you have the availability to do that, I always suggest when you're starting out, make your money work for you, save your money, because you're going to need it. And if you can find a space within your home or your apartment or whatever where you can do your business from home starting out, it's going to save you a lot of money. Now, if you have the financial means to go into a storefront at a location or office space, then hey, there are a lot of places that are offering deals, free rent for so many months, maybe 1 or 2 months, so you can get it established. But it's very critical that you budget out your money and you do that in your business plan to establish when is going to be the right time for you to do that. It may not be a great time for you starting out to get a location, because you're going to have to come up with a deposit and the first month rent, and you're also going to have to come up with all the furniture and setup that it needs to set up your location. So you kind of have to be mindful of that, because it's also going to need to be included in your business plan. Budgeting is essential. Number 6, and I'm sorry, my dogs are barking. Number 6, choose a business structure. And a business structure, we're going to go into this in detail. A business structure is going to describe the structure of your business, how it's going to be determined, how the day-to-day operations are going to go. So you have a sole proprietorship, you have a partnership, you have a corporation, you have an S Corp, and you have an LLC. Now, let's go into what those mean. Okay, so for a sole proprietor, That is someone that is unincorporated. You're going into the business as yourself. That's why a lot of times when you see people drive for Uber or Lyft, or they're independent contractors, they can also go in as a sole proprietor, and they can go into it filing their taxes as themselves. You can go into your business as yourself, and you would use your social security number as identifier to establish your business. The second one is a partnership, and that's where two or more people are going to be owning a business. That means you share the profit, you share the money, you share the losses, you share the labor, the property, everything that it's entailed into your business, you're sharing it with other individuals. That is a partnership. The other one is a corporation. A corporation is established by shareholders. A corporation is completely different. It's an organization that uses a group of authorized people by the state of a single entity. So those shareholders now establish the fact that we're not a sole proprietor, we're not partnerships where we're relating the business to the people. Now we've transitioned to the business and the people as an entity within itself. So that's what a corporation is. And here's some things that I jotted down, and I wrote a lot of this down because it's very important, especially for tax purposes. And I always suggest consulting with a tax consultant or preparer or a lawyer for that matter, because establishing your business structure is essential to how your business is going to operate now and in the future. So a business entity is owned by its shareholders, who then elect board of directors to oversee the organization's operations and needs. Okay. The next one is an S corp. Now you can call it an S corp or an S sub chapter, whatever, and that is shareholders that are now establishing the business, right? So with the S corp, you cannot have more than 100 shareholders, but many choose the S corp for tax purposes. And for the S corp, it provides owners with limited liability protection regardless of their tax status. As an S corp, it is considered a tax election that enables the IRS to acknowledge a business needs to be taxed as a partnership. Now, an S corp also prevents companies from incurring certain taxes, but it also allows them not to be with a double taxation. And you can look a lot of these terminologies up, and I always suggest using verifiable sites when you do this. Typically, the IRS is a great source of information, so you know that it's legitimate, right? So, double taxation. Now, this can be economic, but it refers to the taxing of shareholders' dividends after taxation as a corporation with corporation's earnings. So that will prevent you from being double taxed. To be an S corp, your company must be registered as a C corp or a LLC. Business owners are known as shareholders, so remember that. Owners are considered employees, and their salaries need to be set at a reasonable amount. So with the S corp, as an owner, you need to put yourself on your payroll, and that's beneficial to you with your business because number one, that's setting your budget. Number two, now with your own personal taxes, now that you've placed yourself on payroll, now you already have your taxes that you or your tax liability already taken care of as far as in yourself, because now you've separated yourself from the business. Versus with a sole proprietor and a partnership, you're going into that filing your taxes, your individual and your business together. So one of the benefits of that is when you're a sole proprietor or you're a partnership, when you're filing your taxes, is that you can use, so say for example, I worked in 2022 and I own my business. So I can use, and I have W-2 work earnings from my actual company. and I can file my taxes, and I can say a part of those earnings that I made for 2022, I used to fund my business. And I can now file my business tax return on my Schedule C on my tax return, and I can say, hey, I made $50,000, but of that $50,000, 10,000 of it went into establishing my business, setting up my business, doing research, buying my startup inventory. There's so many things that you can claim as a sole proprietor that will give you tax breaks. And that's another video that I may do, since I am a licensed tax preparer. If you have any questions that you want to ask, I'm okay with you dropping those in a comment, and I'm more than happy to help you with that. That was an S corp. Now, a LLC is what I have, and that's a limited liability corporation, and it is a business structure that protects your personal assets. So that means that if you're sued, well, God forbid that you're sued. If someone sues you, they can't go after your personal assets. They can only take the business assets. So that's one of the things that's important with the LLC. But a lot of things that people don't know about LLC is that when it's taxed as a sole proprietor, it gains a tax advantage of being known as a pass-through entity. Now, a pass-through entity means that the profits pass through the business to the LLC members, so they can report the profits on their personal tax return instead of filing a corporate tax return. So again, the members within this particular scenario need to pay self-employment taxes. And even when you're a sole proprietor or a partnership, it's beneficial that you do that. A lot of times we go into starting a business and then we may or we may not be working to supplement our income. So you start your business and say, for example, you made $20,000 this year. Well, when you get ready to do your taxes, you're going to be in the negative because you made tax-free money that you didn't pay taxes on. I always suggest to my clients that you go into the IRS site, and I can include the link in the description, but the IRS now allows you to pay your self-employment taxes online. You can do that. You can do it monthly, you can do it quarterly, however you want to do that. At the end of the year, they send you a statement of what you paid, and now you can in turn file that on your tax return and you can get that money back. It's going to help you be able to claim business expenses and deductions on your taxes. Because when you've made that money and you get ready to do your tax return, you have to make sure that you have met your tax liability, and you have to see what tax bracket you fall into. So if you fell into a certain tax bracket and then you're required to pay 10 or 15% of what you've earned in a year into taxes, and you have not done that, then you won't be eligible to claim certain deductions on your taxes. So you're only doing yourself a hindrance if you don't do that. That's why I also tell my clients with their work earnings, please make sure you elect your taxes. Please make sure you pay your taxes. That's on your W-2, that whatever box that is, I forgot. I want to say it's 4 or whatever, but you have to make sure that you pay taxes on what you've earned, because if you don't, even as an individual, you're doing yourself a hardship, because the system is going to look at the fact that you made this certain amount of money and you didn't pay taxes on it. So automatically, when whatever tax software company or however you do your taxes, whenever you go into the system, you're going to be in the negative. So now if you have dependents and you get your earned income credit, that's taken away from the negative. So you're basically giving away money. So pay your taxes. And what I tell people to do is look at what you anticipate earning in a year. Look up where you fall into with the tax liability and the tax bracket. Then say to yourself, okay, maybe I can do 6 months on and 6 months off. So for 6 months, I can claim single and zero, and then elect for an additional amount to come out of my paycheck to go towards taxes. And then the latter part of the year, I can go to a different level. So I can go to single, claiming 3 or 4 dependents, and then removing the additional taxes to give yourself some type of break financially. So when you get your net pay, you're having more coming in into your pocket. And I know it's hard. It's difficult to make those sacrifices, but when you get ready to do your taxes, the way that a lot of the itemized deductions are set up, they're set up based on the calculations that you've met your tax liability and you've paid your taxes based on the income bracket that you fell into. So that's essential. So sorry I got off topic, but I had to share that information. Okay. So on the other side of the LLC, it would potentially be taxed as an S corp. Now you can do that. You can have an LLC and you can get an S corp for the tax liability portion of it, or even a C corp, which means a member needs to be paid a reasonable amount of salary again. So you have to be reasonable with your salary as a CEO, and also be mindful of the budget set for your company. It is then reported by the LLC as a business expense and deducts payroll taxes. The company remaining profits or distributed into dividends. So with these terms of your business structure, it's important that you determine what business that you're going to want to go into, what business structure that you want to claim or file as, and then make sure that you do the proper research. Make sure that you have the proper conversations. Make sure you talk to an attorney, a tax, your accountant, whoever, to determine what's the best move for you. Because this is your baby, this is your business, but this also is going to impact you financially. So you also want to make sure that you cover and you secure yourself. Okay, so that was the business structure. A little bit more LLC. Many choose a LLC over S corp because of the freedom that it offers. So before deciding, know the differences between all of them. Again, do your research, do your research, do your research. Okay. 7, choose your business name. Be creative with your business name. Choose a business name that fits you, that describes your business, that can describe your ideas, that will make people, okay, what's that? The curiosity, right? They see it, but it means something. With my business, One Love Be Beautiful, it means something to me. I want to be advocate of love and peace, and I want to push that out through my products and services. I put positive energy into everything that I do, and it's my hopes that whatever I make, that the positive energy and love that I put into what I've made, that it transitions and transfers to your home, and it creates positive energy. So with me, One Love means that we should have a love for not only ourselves, but for others. And we also have to know that we are beautiful inside and out. So One Love Be Beautiful, it's my heart, it's my baby, it's my passion. I always believe that whatever you do, your purpose is tied into it, right? It's not just about being successful. It's not just about being wealthy. It's not just about pushing an idea out there. You have to know that whatever your purpose is in life, it's attached to your dreams and your goals. So when you start your business, think of it on a bigger level. You know, think outside the box. Remember that you were an employee at some point in time too, right? So when you go into being a business owner, being a CEO, and you start having employees work for you, then they have to lead by example. And they're going to see that, okay, this person started from here and then they went here. And now I can be able to do that. And I'm now helping people and employing them into my business. And they're going to be helping your business grow. So that's why it's so critical and it's so important that you think on a bigger level. Okay, so with choosing your business name, make sure you register it. So when I say register, that means establish a DBA, and that means doing business as. And with sole proprietors and partnerships, they have to do that. Now you can contact your local county office to do that, to obtain your DBA. In Texas, I want to say it's like 20 or 25 bucks that I paid. It's really not a lot, but you can go to any county clerk office, and typically here we go to the place where you get your vehicle registration license, where you go get your marriage license. It's the same place. So you tell them, you know, I have a business, I want to establish my name of my business, and that's how you do that. If you decide to incorporate and you want to do a limited liability or S corp, you have to go through the Secretary of State for your state that you live in. In Texas, that paperwork is filed in Austin, so you can go on the Secretary of State's website. You can get the forms and complete them, and you can also find out what the fee is in Texas for LLC. I want to say it's $300. So they have a lot of information there for you. There's always an individual that you can contact. If you want assistance with your paperwork, I do that with the EC firm. I also have a free consultation, so you can definitely drop in the comments if you want any type of assistance, or if you just have questions, right? So that's that. What's the next one here? The next one is obtaining a federal or state tax ID. And that's obtaining your EIN number, your employer identification number. That is free. You can go on the IRS website, doing a search box, EIN number. You're going to put in your business information. You're going to put in your business name, your address. You're going to put in what your business structure will be, and then you will complete it, and then they will give you the ability to do a PDF, and you can keep that form because you're going to need it. So save it on your computer, save it somewhere where it's always accessible, because that is the same form that you're probably going to need to open up a business banking account. And that's also the form that for a lot of your business transactions and needs, they're going to ask you what's your EIN number. And a lot of times some of us can't even remember that number with all the information that we have to remember. So always keep that somewhere saved and accessible. The next one, apply for a license or permit. And you have to ensure that your business is running smoothly. So do your research for whatever business that you're going to have. You need to know whatever permits and licensing that are required for your state that you live in and your jurisdiction, or wherever you're going to be operating. For Texas, it's always good. Always make sure that you obtain your Texas sales and tax permit. That's going to be through the Texas Comptroller's Office. That is free. You go on their website, you complete your information, you submit it, and they're going to give you a certificate that they're going to mail to you. That's where you're going to keep, if you have a brick and mortar or storefront, whatever. Always have that printed, posted up somewhere where customers can see it, or just in case, you know, somebody from the state comes in, they see that you are actually licensed. That's going to give you the ability to assess and charge taxes, sales taxes, right? Also, that's typically needed if you're going to purchase items wholesale. Many distributors and wholesale companies will require you to complete a reseller's permit. That number that they give you for your sales and tax permit, are getting tongue-tied. That's the number that they typically ask for here in Texas. Now, it could be different in other states. I always advise that you look up the state where you live at. Then you're going to open up your bank account, because that's also establishing your business. You want to separate your personal from your business. Your business account is going to help you when you file your taxes. A lot of banks now offer so many different services when it comes to a business. A lot of banks also offer payroll services needs. So make sure you contact your local bank, whoever you bank with, or do some research on whatever bank is for you, so you can determine your business banking needs. Now, here are some just things that I wanted to tell you. Now, that's the list of the important things. Now, here are some things that I jotted down on another level that I think it's essential and it's important. Don't go into business because of the perception. A lot of people go on social media and they see people who own these various businesses, and they say, hey, I want to go into business. They're on TV, they're on social media, they have all these followers. I mean, now I want to go into business. Don't go into business for that reason. There's a lot of sacrifice and hard work that goes into a business. Being an entrepreneur is knowing that I'm no longer working an 8 to 5 job. I'm no longer clocking in. And you think, okay, now I'm a business owner. I can make my own schedule. I can set everything how I want. Many business owners work more owning their business than they did working at a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 8 to 5 job. So know the risk that's entailed. Know the reality of it. Are you going to be able to take accountability for yourself? Are you going to be willing to go the extra mile? Are you going to go into it knowing that I may have gotten 2 hours or 3 hours of sleep, but I've literally worked on my business all night? That's a part of the sacrifice, because there's been times where I've done pop-up events and I literally have gotten no sleep in days because I've been up making candles, just making sure that I'm ready. I'm all about presentation when I deliver anything. So when people see my products and my services, I want them to be like, okay, she really personalized this. That's really important to me, that when you get anything from me, that, okay, she really took her time to do this. It's really personal to me. So that's important. I spoke about accountability. Make sure that you do that with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. It can be stressful. I'm not even gonna lie to you. There are a lot of times where it's mentally draining because you're putting yourself out there, right? And there are going to be times where you may not get a sale. There may be times where you may not get a call. Those are those times where you sit there and you overthink and you analyze, okay, is this really for me? Trust the process. This is part of the process. Also know that when you were working, now, when it gets to, if you haven't decided if you're going to be an entrepreneur, and remember this, I'll give you this piece. I truly believe that everything that we go through in life is for a reason. I don't believe in failures. I believe that there are opportunities. Those are things that we can learn, and we can do takeaways, and we can do things better. So if I've worked so many years in the workforce, and I've went through job loss, I've went through terminations, I've went through true hardships. If you worked in a corporate world and environment, you know that it's a lot here. It's a lot here. It takes you, right? You deal with different co-worker scenarios. You deal with so many different things and work and life balance. Remember that all of those things transpired and happened for a reason. There are things that you learned at those jobs. It may have went south because they let you go or you had to quit, but if you worked in the accounting department, you learned about counting. If you worked in the payroll department, you learned about payroll. If you worked in logistics, you learned about logistics and how products move. Those are things that you can take and you can use in your own business. So everything that you learned previously in the work life, you can now use as a business, and now you know how to do things differently. You're going to learn how to do things that work best for you. Okay. What are some other things here? It's okay if you decide if this is not for you. After you do all the research, after you ask yourself the real questions, can I be an entrepreneur? Can I make those sacrifices? Am I willing to deal with the ups and the downs and the financial hardships that I'm going to have to go through, the stressful and long nights? You can ask yourself, is this something that I really want to do? It's okay. And if you determine if it's not for you, then okay, you move forward. If you determine, okay, I know that I'm going to weather the storm, I know that there's going to be some good and some bad days, this is something that I still want to proceed with, this is something I still want to do. Again, never look at anything as a failure. You may go through setting up your business, and there may be some obstacle that you face, and it may not work out, but don't stop there. Keep pushing, Keep moving. Let it encourage you. Let it motivate you. Just take a break in that moment and say, you know what? Let me reevaluate or reassess this. Maybe this particular obstacle didn't happen to stop me. Maybe it's because I need to reevaluate and navigate and move in a different way. Okay? Another thing, it's really important that you surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that are positive, and that are going to motivate you. I learned in my business that I had to separate myself. I had to go and be quiet. I had to know not to put all of my business as far as in what I'm doing on social media. So I learned to move different because I'm a true believer that you are who you surround yourself with. So if I want to be wealthy and successful, I have to surround myself by those individuals. I can't surround myself by people who always want to complain, who always have drama and negativity going on. That energy is transferable, and that's something that I want to control, that I don't want in my life, and that's something that is going to impact your business, because you need to be strong here, and spiritually in every way. You need to be well armored and equipped to navigate and move through this business world. Remember, you're a CEO. It's more than you just being an entrepreneur. You are now a CEO. Okay, so think about that. Being an entrepreneur means setting the tone. A person's perception is their reality. You have to set the tone for your business. You have to set the tone to where you want to go in whatever industry that you're going to go into, right? So you have to know that. I spoke on social media. Set a time of your day that you're going to push out your stuff on social media. A lot of people are on social media now. A lot of people use hashtags to determine what they're looking for. If they're looking for gifts for Christmas, if they're looking for counseling services, if they're looking for a tax preparer, whatever it is they're looking for. A lot of people utilize social media to find businesses. They use reviews to determine if they're going to do business with you. That means setting up all of your social media profiles. I know that it's a pain, and I know that it's a lot of work, but what I always suggest is set a time of the week, of the day, whether it's at night or wherever you have some downtime, that you're going to not only establish your social media, but you're going to make your posts to advertise your business, because people are not going to know about you if you don't put yourself out there. So you have to make sure that you post content. You also have to make sure that you're posting, even if it's just once a day or 2 times a day, about your products and services. You can also set automations with your social media profiles to where it's automatically posting for you. And there's so many different apps that will allow you to do that, where you can work smarter, not harder, right? So establish your Instagram, establish your Facebook. A lot of people on TikTok, that's basically a part of branding yourself. Again, people won't know about you if they can't find you. So you establishing yourself on your social medias, and you also establishing a website, is going to make people be able to find you, to do business with you. Okay. I talked about positivity. Do not get depressed. Do not get stressed. There are going to be good days. There are going to be bad days. But remember to protect your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical space, right? Your financial space is very important to me, that most important out of all the information that I've given you, that you always keep God in the peace, and you always ask God for direction and guidance, if this is the right thing for me, before you even go into, okay, I have an idea and I want to do my research, I want to do a business. Pray and ask God if this particular opportunity is something that you should do. Should I put this into fruition? Is this something I should do? And God will speak to you every time. You have to manifest what you want in your life. So if you constantly program yourself to think positive, your words carry weight. Always, I use little sticky notes. Tell yourself that I am loved. I am intelligent. I can do this. I have this. Also, put positive affirmation that relates to your business. Also, do things where you're writing down. Do your vision board. Keep your notebook that reminds you of what you need to do. Also, put in your notebook of things that you want to manifest into your business, into your life. If you're constantly writing it down, if you're constantly thinking about it, and you're constantly speaking on it into the atmosphere, and you're constantly praying on it, it's going to happen. I think that I've went through majority of that. Most importantly, don't be afraid. This is going to be a moment where you're going to have to step out on faith. And also don't ignore the signs. If God is telling you about a certain thing or that relates to you or your business, take heed on that. Pray on that and ask God to further speak to you on how you need to move forward with those signs. Okay, so don't ignore that. The very thing that we're fearful of is the very thing that we're called to do. So when it comes to making big changes in our life, when it comes to a business, a lot of times we don't do that because we become complacent. Okay, this is fine, this is stable, this is working, so I can continue to go to work for this company, working 8 to 5, dealing with whatever. I'm okay with that because I already know what to expect. With a business, it's different. You can't control it. You don't know what to expect. So you have to go into it full force. And you have to go into it with more than 100%. You have to go into it being equipped. Also going into it that although I'm giving you information and tips, no one can properly prepare you for what you're going to expect with your business. You have to be able to receive that on your own. So if this is an idea, a dream that you have, whatever journey that you're going to take, whatever journey that God has for you, that is for you and only you. You have to trust the process. You're going to have to travel that road. But just know that no matter what conferences, seminars you watch or you attend, no matter how many videos or research you do as far as and tell me how can I be better prepared for a business, tell me you can equip yourself. But at the end of the day, reality is that is something that you're going to have to go through and know and figure out as you're going. A lot of things with my business, I did a lot of research, but a lot of things I encountered, I wasn't prepared for. I had to deal with and pray, okay, God, this is happening, and I don't know how to deal with this. It is what it is, but I'm going to keep pushing because in my mind, I've told myself that I'm going to be successful, that it's not about me making money. It's about my products getting out there. It's about me providing services that I know that are going to help people. That's what's important, and that alone, because I know that I have an authentic, genuine motive to it, right? That positivity is going to come from that, and it's going to be what it is. It may not happen when I want to, but it will happen, right? So that's all of the information that I have. Lastly, I'm going to put some things that I want you to ask yourself. Am I ready to be a boss or a CEO? Can I handle the unexpected and the unknown? Right? Ask yourself, are you happy right now in your current life? And I have these ideas about my business that I've been putting off. What should I do? Okay. Ask yourself, how do I put that into place? Because tomorrow is not promised. We can't just sit idle on our dreams and our goals because they're attached. Remember, they're attached to our purpose. They're also attached to helping people. So thinking that mindset. And ask yourself, what am I meant to be? What am I meant to do? And go from there. Okay? Those are my handy dandy tips and notes. I hope that it helps you. I would love to get your feedback. I would love to get your comments and ask questions, and also share with me what tips and things work for you, that may be able to help me and help others, right? So again, continue to subscribe, and view. I thank you for taking the time to watch my video today. I hope that it helps you. Okay. I wanted to share this video. I'm going to be doing another video of me making some candles, but before I made that video, I wanted to, God put this on my heart. for me to do this one first. So Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you are blessed. And again, thank you for tuning in today. This is Sunshine Love with One Love Be Beautiful. You have a great day.